And I've been chillin', watching the ocean with you. Baby, up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our cloudlands when people change, but not us.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Masaki from State 43, and a couple days ago, I released a video regarding like the top 5 worst things to happen to SOS in 2021. I don't want to be a negative Nancy and just only be a downer. I do want to applaud SOS whenever they do something great, and hopefully they can continue doing those things that are great for the players, because long term that means a longer game for all of us, and that also means more money for them. So they should really listen to this. So without further ado, let's just get started. Number one topic is server merge finally started to happen. So this is really, really great. We now have over, I think, 900 plus servers. So that's great. And they open, I think, about 2 to 3 servers a week. So this list will only grow as we go. As you probably everyone knows, a lot of the earlier states are getting a little bit more sparse. There's less players playing, so it's getting kind of boring, right? So the idea that the devs have is to merge some of the earlier states into one server. That's actually not a bad idea in general, because it makes more popular servers, and it allows them to be very competitive. You don't really want to merge like server 1 with server 900, because they're just going to wreck the players in 900, right? You want to merge the ones that have similar levels, similar items, similar rewards, etc. So that's really cool. They're starting those now, and it's looking pretty good. I also know that there are some states that are in the high 500 to 700 range that have actually had some bad experiences, and so those states might also be getting maybe they're going to get some tensions for merges as well. I know that some of those states have some issues internally and lost a lot of players throughout their time. So hopefully the states that also need some help will also get some merges. Essentially, I don't think that the merges should only be tied to earlier states. Maybe provide that kind of feature to a lot of the states that really do need it. Number 2 is rewards being updated to current levels. So this has actually happened. I know that it's as extensive as we probably as players want it to be, but in fact, a lot of the rewards are being updated, and I think that's just signs that more are going to be updated, and so that's a good thing. As an example, like if you ever done intels recently, you'll notice that some of the exploration intels, especially the orange ones, are dropping fragments for recent heroes, and that's really, really great. It's probably still not dropping enough, I would say, especially since they're dropping, like, for me, they're dropping like fragments from heroes in 1 to 2 generations before. They could probably go higher on those events, honestly, like have more of those orange intels, drop more of those fragments, get most of the players that missed it to get their heroes of those like previous generations up to like 1 star. I think it's pretty fair. It also makes a nice competitive environment, and realistically having heroes as major 1 star, it really won't change much, because the heroes that are very, very, or the players that have like the best heroes are gonna have max out anyway. So it's not a challenge to feed some of the lower players some fragments so that they don't have to have like very basic recruit level heroes. Underground event has really nice rewards actually. So if you max out the event towards the end, you're looking at like 200 something plasma, lots of hero frags, lots of chief gear, badge, etc. type of upgrade materials, which are, if you ever play this game, those are very necessary for progressing in the later game. Number 3 is events are being worked and fixed. So this is actually really great, right? So Ascertain Heist was one of those events that first started. I think a lot of players did like it. It's a fun event. But one of the problems they had was it was very laggy. It had a lot of like different drop issues. It had map issues, etc. with the players. So that has been somewhat fixed. I think they did a test run 2 weeks ago, and then they ran an actual event with like, I think 12 or 15 different time zones and time slices that people can then sign up for. I think overall the experience is really good. I mean, just from stats on my channel, I noticed the Ascertain Heist videos got a lot more views than other ones. So I think players really like this event, and it's fun. So yeah. Migo in general, I've seen the improvements they've made. For example, like not having, if players have the same amount of points, don't worry about who got there first. Just if they have the same amount of points, give everybody the same rewards for glory. That's good because that allows a lot more players to unlock the skins and March skins, etc. Because this is one of the few places that most free-to-play players can actually unlock March skins or HQ skins too. So that's nice. The digs vastly improved. If you recall what digs were before, they would happen, I think, like Mondays and Sundays or something. And then, Monday, Wednesday, and then Sunday. But Sunday's like the super dig or something. And man, it's like a really nightmarish event where you have to like send Frank out there to like go find a location. It's like, you're spending like an hour and a half digging 10 nodes for that day. And it's on a recharge cooldown, so like you're always worried if you're missing some digs because you miss your cooldown. It happens like at 2 hours at a time, and so there's times in the day during that day that the event isn't happening. It's a nightmare, right? It was so much work. It was a lot of frustration for players who felt like they were missing out if they missed a single dig. That's vastly improved. So now all digs restart at reset. So you get 5 digs a day, and then you can get chips that can then give you the mega dig that gives you more rewards. The rewards are also updated, so they're better. In general, I like the new dig. It's really easy. Doesn't take a lot of time, and you're done with it per day. So yeah. Underground, there are a lot of things that they did to fix Underground overall and get more players to play, have more of the interactive events, like for example the events on the screen where you can get your heroes over there to like gather, to do research, etc. So all those things are really nice within Underground that they've improved. And in general, like giving players more rewards with 2 different reward tabs that are available at the end of the game. Also kind of fine-tuning the research a little bit too, so that's really great. Yeah, Throwdown, for example, reducing the requirement cap for Throwdown per event week to 7,500 points instead of like the 9,500 points before. And giving players more chances to get like higher point tasks in their exclusives. In general, that's not bad. It really makes Throwdown more manageable for most players who really don't have time, because I think hitting 9,500 for the week is actually quite difficult, whereas hitting 7,500 is very doable for most players. All right, so those are the events. I'm pretty sure I missed a couple, but in general, you can see SOS is taking efforts to make events easier, more manageable, less time consuming. SOS is where we have fun. It's not a job for us. So yeah, that's nice. Capital Clash, for example, being shorter is a great benefit. And even then, in addition to that, there's a lot more like clarity in how the towers are firing, etc. So Capital Clash in general has improved quite a bit. So with also the zone, the inner red zone that like basically allows you to go there, but you can't bubble. So that's really nice to prevent like people, very early in the week getting spaces near the capital, reserving it with their farm, putting up a bubble, etc. It's like things like that just were very wasn't very helpful. So they've put in efforts to make sure that only the participating players can actually get the front row, and you actually have to be there on time, etc. So it's kind of nice. And because you can't bubble within that red zone, most players, when they're done, they do leave that area so other players can hop in, etc. It's just overall better. One thing that I really love that they added this year, or actually at least put it into full swing, was the Reservoir Reservoir League that they put in place, right? So not just having a bi-weekly Reservoir event, but having the league in place so that players can compete, other alliances and players can bet on the leagues, earn rewards for betting, earn rewards for doing tasks and coins, be able to participate. So my alliance was participating in the league for a couple times, and it was really fun actually, just to face other other alliances, and also kind of think about like different things like points and how we can win and make out of our bracket, etc. It's kind of fun, right? So in general, our league is great. I mean, obviously, the top spots are still going to be competed among the best alliances who basically have maxed out bases. But still, like among like the lower spots, it's still going to be pretty fun for like week 1, week 2, potentially even week 3. Some alliances will make it that far. But, around like week 5, week 6 is where you can start seeing only the best alliances will get to that round. So the semifinals, the finals, etc. So yeah. Those are the 5 things that I can think of, maybe the top 5 at least, that were improved in 2021 by for SOS. I'm sure there are more that I'm just not like even thinking of, and some of the ones I've mentioned are like kind of like cheating because I've added quite a few things in there. So anyway, I just want to say these are the things that I was really happy with. So not all things in 2021 are negative with SOS. Just want to make sure that's clear. This is Masaki from State 43. You stay classy.
Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single